I remain your humble host, Faith Onome. Happy new month to you all. Our theme for this month is I'm being you last. In today's episode of Breakout Section, we have a minister here with us, and her name is Minister Victoria Adegoye. I want you to sit down, relax, and be right back.
Saints of God, Happy New Week and Happy New Month. Welcome to December. Great news is coming forth for you in this month. This month is a month to finish strong, to finish well, and to finish with foolproof manifestations. In this month, don't take your secret place for granted, right? The Bible says in Psalm 91 verse 1, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." So keep abiding, keep dwelling, keep staying under God's authority, keep staying under God's promises, keep staying under God's covenant. Prepare for full manifestations. I believe in last miracles. Share the love of Christ to others by telling them about Jesus, because Jesus is always the reason for every season. Hallelujah. So in this month, don't just focus on so much price, but focus on the price that was paid on the cross of Calvary for you and I. Let your heart be full of gratitude to what God has done for you right from January down to this time in December. So get ready to engage, because you are built to last. God bless you. Have a blessed month.
Welcome back. Here with me is Minister Victoria Adegoye. You are welcome, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
So, in today's episode, we'll be discussing a very interesting and insightful topic: the revolving education. The revolving education. So, to you, ma, what does the word revolving mean?
When we talk of revolving, we are talking about a constant changes, a transformation that is continuous. That is what revolving is all about.
More of talking about growth.
Yes.
So, how do we relate revolving with education?
Okay. The education we have these days is different from the one we have in those days, because there is a lot of differences. Education has changed from the normal learning that we undergo in school. We have different type of education. We have the formal and the informal. Even the formal and the informal, a lot has changed with time. So education is a continuous thing. We learn from birth till cradle. From the day we are born, we start learning. So the kind of learning, the kind of education, when we talk of the formal education we receive in school, is far different from what we have these days.
Now, when we're in school, our lecturer told us that then in their own time they will go to the library, they will look for books like all these textbooks and the like. But in our days now, we don't even need to go to the library again. Do you see that as a positive thing or negative? Because it makes some students to be lazy in a way. They won't want to go to the library to study. They just want to stay with their phone. I can go on my phone anytime. I can ask Google and the like. So what do you think about that?
Well, we just believe that whatsoever that have advantage will surely have a disadvantage. But to me, looking at technology this day, I think is more of advantage to a serious minded student. I can tell you categorically that what we have these days is a different thing. It's not as if what we had then is not education, but then it's a kind of read, learn. Just we don't have is just a kind of one direction learning, where the teacher do the most of it. But what we have these days is beyond that. This is teacher-student relationship. So it's not a one-man show. When in those days, you see a teacher writing on the board, talking to the board, talking to the student. But these days, in this 21st century, what we have these days is that people want to know why this is this. Not that you just come and give, this is the story and that's all. You have a lot of access to a lot of things. And if a student is serious, it will boost the academic view of the student to learn more beyond the one you have been learned in the class or the one you are being taught. Those days, gone are those days, state and capital, all this. But these days, why is, state and capital, this state, why is this place the capital? Why not this place? So students these days are different from the one we have in those days.
Education has really changed. You can see the kind of technology and the like coming in place now, and many things have really changed in education. Ma, how do you find yourself in teaching?
Well, it's a long story. Actually, when I first finished my secondary school, I had the opportunity for them have to retake my paper. Then I have the opportunity to go for either nursing or to be a teacher. But all along, I have this passion of being in the midst of children. So it has been in me. I just want to be in the midst of children, telling them things, teaching them. So in in that GV, I just speak teaching. I told the person that gave me the opportunity that I would prefer to be a teacher than to be a nurse. The reason is that I hate this nursing hospital odor. That to be a teacher would be the best for me. And ever since then, I did not regret being a teacher. It has been wonderful.
Wow, wow. How many years have you been in this profession, ma?
Well, let me say I've run the system from teachers college. I mean teaching them during my NYC. I taught in teachers college, Dikwa, Meduguri. Then secondary school. When I came to before coming to Lagos, I taught in the primary school, secondary school. Then coming to Lagos, I found myself in the midst of little children. We call it preschool. So all the stages, and may I confess, all these students, they are doing so wonderful. They are so wonderful.
Wow, that's good, ma. Ma, have you ever find yourself being discouraged in a way when teaching the student, maybe the action of the student or the student they are not getting what? Imagine when you are teaching a student a particular topic and you kept on repeating the same thing, or the student is not even getting anything. Have you what do you do in those cases?
Okay, there is this principle I have at the back of my mind. If you want to teach a student, it's either if you teach the student in your own way, the student is not getting it, then you go the way of the student, and that has been the factors keeping me. Because I remember during the days I find myself in preschool, coming to Lagos in the midst of children, age 1 to 5, you know, the kind of things they expect from you, the children. But then, if I said, I used to have a particular student, Omobolale, I believe that she is now a big girl. Omobolale will not eat. The parent will bring food for her. She will not eat. Oh, very brilliant. Initially, when I got to that place, she is lefty, but I did not know she uses left hand. So my first day in the school, I told her that no, that's not the way to write it. You write it like this. It was later one of the teacher called my attention and said, "She's left-handed. I'm so sorry about that." So I start teaching her the way to write, and I noticed that she's she doesn't like doing her assignment by herself. So and she doesn't like eating. I now use what she liked to teach her. Come on, Bolanle, okay, come over. This is your food. We are going to read. We are going to learn one, two, three. So what we are going to do, by the time I give her once more, you'll be counting it one, two, and before you know it, she picked interest in me. To the extent that there was a day the father came around to come and pick her. The father was standing at the door. More than 15 minutes, I did not take note of him. It was later the man said, "Wow, so Omobolale can learn like this." And to the glory of God. So if I'm not around, the way, even if we are on vacation, I do feel this, I do miss them a lot. Because if I remember their attitude, the way they we jump, the way we talk, the way so my students, and they are doing wonderfully.
That's to say, for different things, we have different ways of handling them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What of in a situation when we have, for example, now GSS2, believe that GSS2 students will be able to read and write, but we have when teaching one of you discover that one of the students can't read and can't write, and that might make this make you to lag behind. What do you do in that situation?
Very good. What I do is that, just like you said, we have individual differences. And that is one of the key a teacher needs to know. Once I'm in a class, I notice my students that some are Or everybody cannot be at the same speed. So those that are the slow learner, I try to make sure provide an extra time. That's why being a teacher is not just being the teacher in the classroom. It goes beyond that. You are a local parentis. You are there to assist them as their parent. You are to stand as a doctor. In fact, for everything to the student, you are the mother, the father, all the role as a teacher. We need to have it, and that has been helping. If I notice a child is unable to read or write, I, on my own time, will create extra time. Though it will cost me time, but rather, is the end result I will be after. Because I believe when you train a child, you train a nation. So if the child, by tomorrow, the child sees you, you will be happy. Just yesterday, I was in the market. I met one of my students. Believe me, I did not even recognize them again. It was one that now called me, excuse me, ma'am. Just hello. Smiling. I was like, okay. He said, "Ma, you forgotten me." Abdul Salam in Tom Caleb. So, wow, you're not a big boy. I said, yes, ma'am. What are you doing now? I'm working. So I was, and that is the joy of a teacher. When you see your student excelling, some of them being doctor, medical. In fact, when I hear about my students, I'm always, it's not about money, but the joy is always there that, wow, so these are my product and they are doing well. So I think that is one of the passion every teacher should have.
We should, as an educator, you should have the passion,
Very,
not
very
just
important.
going after the money.
No, 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 no.
Because sometimes the money can discourage one. But how much teachers, they are known to be the people that have the least money in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, in the world too. Yes. So, ma, what is the method of correction anytime a student is at fault?
Well, in those days, I remember our teacher then, they were just like a teen god. Immediately you see your teacher, in fact, you have to, you see them as God. And once you are guilty or you've offended, is always beaten. But these days, because we are in 21st century, then some students, I mean those days, some students got a lot of mark that they will never forget from their teacher. But these days, education is beyond teacher alone. It's teacher student relationship. So that is why it's not all about disciplining a child with cane. Cane is, in fact, is not acceptable. There are a lot of punishment. Let me use my class as an example. If I have students that did not write my note, they know note writing. If your note is complete, you have 10 marks. That's one of my assessments I use. Out of the 40 marks, that is assessment. So in case you are guilty, you did not write my note, what I will do is that as a means of punishing you, I will ask you to get a student that has a complete note. You come with me and stay beside me to complete the note. Meanwhile, that will be either during the break or after closing. Meaning that I've deprived you from certain things that you're supposed to have enjoyed. Then, you know, correction itself should be something that should be a thing that you have to let the person know the reason why you are correcting. It's not a destructive thing, but a corrective thing. Something that will bring about changes in the life of the student. Not that will just gain you and great mark in your, no, no, no. Government, Lagos State government ran at it. And I believe the UNESCO is against it. So it's not acceptable. You don't beat. Beating is out of it. There are millions of ways of disciplining the student when a student is not doing the right thing. There are ways of doing it. It's not that that teacher is coming with pain. No. The level we are now, this 21st century, is teacher student. In fact, you allow the student to do bulk of it because you'll be amazed by the time you get to class. Maybe you prepare your lesson. I want to teach you about family. This. By the time the student start giving you definition, you'll be surprised and explanation. Or so that will even to the aspect that you as a teacher did not even focus on. They will bring it to you, and that is why we allow for this 21st century. It allow critical thinking, innovation, problem solving. Allow students to come to, okay, you don't go to the class, government is this. No. The level has passed. In those days, they will ask you, what is this? But these days, just go to the class. What can you say about government? By the time the students start giving you definition, you'll be surprised. I did not even know it goes beyond this level. So is the stage we have now is beyond the traditional stage of learning.
Thank you, ma.
You're welcome.
We have some students that believe that education is scam. Hmm. They do say it's very rampant. Education is scam. Education is scam. What can you say about that, ma?
Well, a lot of things people are just there. We have a lot of deceiver. Let me put it, and I'm not surprised. All this, the Bible says at the end of the uh, when at the end of the when it's getting to the time, the old things, when it's getting to rapture time, you see a lot of things. People will come with different teaching, heresy, telling you this. Somebody that undergo education, that knows education, show you your right from your wrong. You know what is right and what is right. So telling me now, you that have undergo education, you are not telling the new generation, the incoming generation, that is a scam. That means you are the one that want to scam them. You want their life to be wasted. Why did you undergo education if you know it's a scam? Then why are you telling the incoming generation? That means they are deceiver. So anybody that says that is a deceiver.
Education is not scam. Anybody that tells you that education is a scam, that person is a deceiver. That's what she says now. So now, ma, when we talk about, I want to look at the parent-teacher relationship. How how is like from your experience? How is your relationship with the parent?
Well, for my students, I have a cordial relationship with their parents. And once I notice some things, I treat my students as individual. I don't treat them collectively. So I know each of my students one by one. And I want to know more about you, know more about your background, where you are coming from. Sometimes, to the glory of God, I've taught in a private school in Kwara State then. God really used me a lot. A lot of marriages that were about that have even collapsed because of my relationship with the parent, one of the parents, with the glory of God, they are together today. And those children are doing so. As an educator, as a teacher, you need to treat your students as individuals. Know more about them, know their background, and know how to handle them. We have some students that will just come to school. You see them, you see it on them. What is wrong? But if you are a teacher, did not take time, you may be treating the child with the wrong medicine. Let me put it like that. Maybe the teacher has not the students have not eaten, and now you are in the class shouting, Kule, why are you sleeping? This. You know the problem of the child. So you need to see the child as your own. And that is why they call teachers local parents. Take the child as your own. What you know you can do for your own words, do it for them. Because they may not appreciate it today, but in the future, in the nearest future, they will appreciate it. I have a lot of my students calling me outside the country. Hey, ma, I'm doing, one even told me when she was about relocating. I'm relocating to so country. I was like, wow. After all, I'm not the only teacher that taught her. But that is the relationship. I've been an hostel mistress, been a teacher, just whatever post you occupy in the life of people, it matters. Your investment, the best investment in life is teaching. Let me put it like that. Creating impact, making impact in the life of someone. So being a teacher, in fact, I see it as the best investment for me. And God has been helping me.
Impactful wherever you find yourself. Ma, what advice will you give to students that are at the verge of making decisions? They may be thinking of, maybe their parents have already told them to do a particular course because of the money that is there, or and the, and that particular student might be having another interest. For example, now I heard of a story. The boy wanted to become a lawyer, but the father wanted him to become another thing entirely. That wanted him to become a scientist, a doctor. So this boy, he did all those things. He went to school, and fortunately for him, he was a brilliant student. He did everything. He went to school. He went to the medicine school. After graduation, he was even the best. Was the best student in the university. After the graduation, he just went to the father and gave the father, "This is your certificate. I did this for you." But that's not what I want to become a law. I think lawyer, yes. I want to become a lawyer. Then the boy now went again to become that same thing that he wants to be. So what's your advice to parents and students?
My advice to parents is that you should first sit your words down. Ask he or she what he or she wants to become. Try to know what your child wants to become. Then look out for their interests. Gone are those days that parents will come and say, "No, you must be a lawyer by fire by force." No, 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 no. These days, allow a child to be what he or she wants to become, but on under your guidance. Make sure we are there to be their leader, to lead them aright, to direct them. So we are not there to compel them, because if at the long run, just like the story I heard a similar story of the child that became a lawyer. He actually wanted to become a musician, but the father said, "No, no, not under my watch." The boy graduated to become the best student. When they were giving award for the best student, graduating student, when they called the boy asked for the permission from the the one addressing them. Like, can he call the father to come to the podium? The father was there. The boy, right over there in the presence of the crowd, he told them that, "Daddy, thank you very much. I really appreciated what you've done so far. You want me to become a lawyer, and I've done that. This is the certificate, and this is for you. Now, will you allow me to go and do what I want to do?" You know, meaning that the father diverted from the interest. He did not consider the interest of the child. You are not the one that will be the lawyer. So allow the child to be what he wants to be, but ensure you guide them right. I do ask my student, "What do you want to become?" From all my years of teaching, it's only one of my students, present student now, that told me that I want to become a teacher. I asked her why. Because other people see teachers as being poor. How much are they collecting? He said no. I now discovered that this girl had a kind of mind. She sees teachers as the best people. They have time for their family, they have time for other things. And that is why she told me that I have sampled everything, and I can pinpoint some fact reason why I want to become teacher. Well, parents, please guide. You are there to guide your children. You are not there to compare them to what they don't want to be. Just guide them and make sure they do the right thing.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. It's nice having you here, ma.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now we've come to the end of today's episode of Breakout Section. Join us same time next week. Have a blessed one.
Hello everyone, we hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Breakout Session. Ensure to follow, like, and turn on your post notification to get notified when a new episode comes on. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, the Instagram, the Facebook, and YouTube. God bless you.